Welcome back to Theresa.is.Dead. My name is Theresa and I'm very much alive. And if you're new here, welcome. I have an awful garbage mouth where I tend to use fuck as a comma. If you're not into that or weird shit in general, bitch, this is not the place for you. Feel free to exit the video here. No harm, no foul. But I'll remember our time fondly. If you want to jump straight to the overall review of the products, I'll leave a time code down below. Feel free to jump ahead. A while back, I was talking about my coworker, John. And John is an interesting fellow. And if you're new here, hi, my name is Theresa. I'm a garbage person. And sometimes I like to talk about these interesting people I have in my life. I'm pretty much the flame and all the weirdo moths are drawn to me. And John is the type of coworker that is what I like to call as an oversharer. He's an interesting fella. He pretty much inadvertently told me that he has a micro penis and he was actually going to be getting corrective surgery for it, and he did. He was out for a little bit and he came back, and now I'm guessing he has a full-on pretzel dog, so good for him. So with that said, John, who is one of the most interesting people I have ever fucking met, is also a musician on the side. John really wanted to invite people from the office to go see him play. I, of course, being the asshole instigator that I am, said, yeah, you should invite everybody in the office. And I know you're probably saying, Theresa, you're awful. I know I am. I know I'm going to hell. It's fine. I made peace with it. So John sent out an email to everybody, and I mean everybody, watching him play kind of in an open mic situation. And I, of course, being the asshole that I am, could not fucking hit yes fast enough. So I convinced my good friend at work to come join this fun circus, and we decided to head over to this bar. Now, this bar that we went to, I guess, is known for doing stuff like this. So it kind of seemed like maybe one or two people would go up, do about 10 or 15 minutes, get off, the next person would go on, and so forth and so on. So me and my coworker arrived to the bar and we noticed that there was only 3 other people that showed up to this thing. Granted, this event was on a Wednesday night, so maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, so as me and my coworker start to approach the table, I noticed that Terry's there, and if you're not familiar with Terry, Terry is an older woman that works in my office. That's another one that's an oversharer. There was a guy that I like to call Good Morning because I don't know his name. And I know it's fucked up of me, I know, and I've been with my company for so long, but this guy, I swear to God, I cannot remember his fucking name for the life of me. I see him every morning, and so I just call him Good Morning. I don't know. And I feel like at this point in the game, it's too late to ask for his name now. And I'm too fucking embarrassed to tell other people that I don't know his name. So he's Good Morning. So Good Morning's a very nice guy. And my other coworker, Alice, showed up. Alice is very quiet. I don't really know too much about her. She seems really nice. She eats a lot of lean cuisines. That's all I really know about her. Anytime I ask her a question, she usually just giggles uncontrollably and then walks away without giving me an answer. I don't know. I have no idea what her deal is, but she's sweet as pie. In any case, we're all sitting there awkwardly sharing a very, very small table, drinking overpriced drinks at $20 a pop. It was amazing. So as we were all elbow to elbow, awkwardly making small talk, well, actually, none of us were really making small talk. Terry decided to take the opportunity to tell us about her divorce, that her ex-husband left her for a woman that she lovingly referred to as the cunt with a parakeet, which I was like, raising my hand to ask a question, and my coworker slapped my hand down. So, I mean, I had some follow-up questions about that, but I guess I'll leave that for another day. So as we're all awkwardly nodding along to her story, I hear the announcer call out John's name to come perform. So it's just John with an acoustic guitar, and he starts strumming like the first few notes to Wonderwall. I'm a huge 90s alternative fan, right? I love Oasis. I love the song Wonderwall. So I was like, oh shit, okay, like this is cool. John can actually sing, which I was like, that's pretty impressive. And he's doing a really good job. And I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. So whatever, I'm nodding my head, singing along, whatever, right? So everyone at the table kind of seemed to be nodding too. So I was like, oh, good for John. Like, this is really awesome. And I kind of noticed a little bit that Alice would just like kind of like tilt her head, and she would have like these really big, like starstruck eyes, and they were just like so big and brown, and she was like, and I kind of like hit my coworker, and I was like, look at Alice over here. What the fuck's she doing? And I just think Alice kind of has a crush on John. And I was like, oh, that's kind of oddly sweet and disturbing because John is just a fucking weirdo. But whatever. Anyway, I love Office Love. The song ends. We all clap. Now, he still technically has, I think, like another 10 or 15 minutes to go. So he starts to play the next song, which is Semisonic Closing Time. I'm actually kind of like commenting to my other coworkers. I'm like, wow, he's really good. Like, this is awesome. Good for him. So then the song ends. So then he starts to play Wonderwall again. I gotta look at my coworker. I was like, didn't he just play this? And she was like, maybe he's nervous. Okay, cool. He goes through the whole Wonderwall song again. The song ends. He goes back into Semisonic Closing Time. And I'm like, okay. Whatever, song ends. He then goes back into semisonic closing time. And I'm like looking around like, this must be a gag. Like, this must be the joke. This has to be the joke. And like, I'm making eye contact with other people and everyone's just kind of like, that song ends. And then he finishes with Wonderwall from Oasis. And I'm like, did he just fucking play the same two songs over and over again? I'm like, did this just fucking happen? He ends his set and it was silent. It was completely silent. Then I started to hear, I didn't know what to do, so I like elbowed my coworker really hard and was like, yay, Jen, that's so awesome! My other coworkers were like, except for Alice. I swear to God, if there was like a little thought bubble that popped up over her head, it would have just showed like a giant heart. She looked like she wanted to fuck the fuck out of him, okay? Like, damn. In any case, he came off stage and he was just so excited that one, we showed up, and two, that apparently this was his best set yet. So of course, me being an asshole, I said to him, hey, I really, really like the songs that you chose. And he looked at me and said,
oh, thanks. They're the only ones I know.
Joke's on me. In any case, that was my day. How's yours? In this video, we're going to be doing another bite-sized review, and before I get into everything, I do want to note that the next few videos I'm going to be coming out with are going to be bite-sized reviews only because I purchased a lot of different products, and to make a dedicated video on each and every product would be fucking insane. Ain't nobody got time for that. Just kind of a heads up, I hope you guys really like the format, because I definitely like the format, and I think I'm going to continue to do so, where I will still make dedicated videos for specific releases, especially for those things that have just come out. A lot of these little products, so I think I'm just going to batch them up together. So with that said, if you have any sort of constructive criticism, let me know down below. Now, with that said, today we're going to be talking about 5 different products. We're going to be talking about a foundation, some brushes, the Hourglass Ghost palette, the Venus Lime Crime palette, as well as the Norvina Volume 3. I will also leave timestamps for each thing, so just in case if you want to hear one thing and not all, whatever, I'm literally going to be servicing you today. That's right, everyone's getting a hand job. First thing I'm going to be talking about is this YSL foundation. Full disclaimer, I am a part of Octoly, so Yves Saint Laurent Beauty has gifted me this foundation. Now with that said, I'm in the shade BR20, which is technically I think Cool Ivory. This guy retails for about $58. You get about 0.84 fluid ounces, which is kind of a shame because it's not even a full ounce for this guy. You get it in this beautiful frosted glass bottle, this adorable plastic top. It looks luxurious, it looks high-end, and for the fucking price tag, it sure is. I have been playing with this foundation for 1 month now, and I have been wearing it exclusively for 1 month now. I cannot stop wearing it. I love it. And I honestly thought that I wasn't going to like it at all because it is a matte foundation, and every time I see a matte foundation, I usually go, but not this one. This one is fucking incredible, and I don't understand how, and I don't understand why. I really don't have a lot of bad things to say about it. For a matte foundation, I don't feel like it's suffocating my skin and making me look like I'm closer to death. For me, the best application is with a sponge. Actually, to be honest, I didn't even try it with a brush because that's how much I loved using a sponge with this thing. Before I applied this foundation, I have been kind of using my normal cocktail of the Fenty Hydrating Primer, a little bit of Tatcha Silk Canvas, especially around the cheek area. And I think because of that, it actually looks like more of a natural finish. The two most amazing things about this foundation is one, that it doesn't really settle into my fine lines, especially my student loan stress line up here, and it doesn't sit weird on my nose. A lot of times foundation will have some sort of weird buildup where it gets very dry on the bridge of my nose, and it's very noticeable, and I just look like I'm a fucking dusty mummy cookie that if you literally do this, I will literally shatter into a million trillion pieces. Granted, if I do wear any sort of glasses, I do get the slight indentation right on the bridge of my nose, but other than that, that's it. However, I don't think it withstands the heat very well. It's always the hairline, because when I was shopping the other day, I was pretending I had a sugar daddy apparently. So as I was dropping some fucking dollars in the goddamn Macy's and I started seeing how much shit costs, the top of my fucking head was sweating so goddamn badly that the foundation was actually starting to break away. I have been in situations where it has been pretty humid or whatever, and the foundation from here down looks fine. It's just right here, it's some weird anomaly where it just starts to break down. It's funny because when I start to cool down, even though I am missing product here, it actually looks like it's a natural fade. This stuff lasts for a very long time. I believe on the bottle it says up to 24 hours, and I can attest that I have worn this foundation for about 16, almost 18 hours. For the most part, it looks so goddamn good. So good that I am completely impressed with this foundation, and that I'm actually really mad at myself that I bought so much new foundation that I have to start using, otherwise it's going to go bad. I definitely feel that this is like a high medium coverage if you put on at least 1 to 2 coats. I gotta say, I like it. I am really impressed. I've heard a lot of good things about this foundation. I have so many foundations in my collection currently that I was like, I'm all full up on foundations. Like, I don't need any more. I'm super happy that I did get to try this. This is probably going to be my new holy grail foundation, which is insane. Even out of all the things that I have been trying as of late, like the Charlotte Tilbury one, Tarte Found Sealer, Fenty Hydrating one, all of those, this is better. Who am I? I don't know, but that's fantastic. So listen up. Since it's $58 and you get less than an ounce, which is bullshit in my opinion, that's probably like the biggest goddamn negative. If you are near a Sephora, I highly recommend you guys checking it out and getting a free sample of it. My skin type is normal to dry and I adore it. Now, if you are an oily skin type, technically this is oil free, but I did read quite a few foundation reviews on Sephora that stated that it turned a lot of people that had oily skin into an oily mess. So that's something to kind of think about. This is my new favorite foundation and I begrudgingly look forward to paying full price for this shit. Keeping in the tradition of things that were sent to me, let's talk about these Rephr brushes. I have to say a big old thank you to Annette's Makeup Corner, and if you don't know her, I don't know why you don't, go check her out. She was the one that actually let the brand Rephr know who I am, and they contacted me and asked if I'd be interested in trying their brushes. Now please note, they did not ask me to make this review. They just said like, hey, we just want you to try out these brushes. Let us know your feedback. I didn't have to give my feedback in a video response. I literally could just email them, and I was so actually impressed by that I was like, what? I was like, shit, I'm gonna talk about you guys in a fucking video. First sent me their core collection, which you get 5 different natural hair brushes. The first one is the #1 brush, best-selling do-it-all blending brush. I also found that this works really great as a large shader brush. It is so incredibly soft, and I really love the dome top. I can understand why people love natural hair brushes so much, albeit they are really expensive. I found that I didn't really take as much time when using these brushes as opposed to, say, a synthetic brush. So I definitely felt like it sped up my whole makeup application. So the second brush is a short shader brush, which was so perfect. The difference between brush #1, this top is a little bit more squared off and the bristles are about half the length. And again, I found that this brush picked up eyeshadow really well. So the third brush, which I want to say is my favorite brush, is a pencil brush, and this is so perfect for getting into that inner corner. Oh my god. So I actually have a pencil brush that I fucking hate because the bristles are really rough. And it's funny because I purchased that brush and I washed that brush and somehow the bristles became even more stiff. So I've been looking for some sort of replacement, and I'm so thankful to get this brush now because this is exactly what I need. My eyes in general are very sensitive, and considering I'm getting really close to my goddamn eyeball, I want to use something that is very soft. And again, the way that this brush picks up shimmer shades is so fucking beautiful. #4 is an angled cheek brush, and it's pretty much good for contour, blush, or foundation. As you can tell, I've used it for contour, and what I like about it is how small it is. So I found, oh my god, my highlighter, holy shit. Okay, sorry, I'm like, alien slut you. So what I love about this brush is that how perfect and small it is, especially for this portion of my face. Actually really been utilizing it from here to here. I actually also dust it on the sides of my nose and along my jawline area. This is awesome. When it comes to kind of contouring or bronzers, I definitely like to go in with a smaller brush. This is perfect. I love this brush. And again, I find the biggest difference from, say, this brush to like the other brush that I really like was from Jeffree Star Morphe collection, or there was a brush I believe from Luxie that I was using. There's something about natural hair brushes and how it picks up the product that is just so goddamn nice. I'm really sad that it took me this long to figure that out. I only own 2 other natural hair brushes, and one is a Wayne Goss brush, which at first I was kind of like, meh. But then I was like, oh, okay, this is pretty much one of the best ways to add highlight. And I actually have a Hakuhodo brush, which I'm scared of because it was so goddamn expensive. The last brush is number 5, and this is pretty much a multi-purpose cheek brush. I use this exclusively for blush. And again, I really love how soft it is on my face. It picks up the color so beautifully. These are so goddamn awesome. I know in the past that they had a Kickstarter and it was really successful, so I believe that they're going to be coming out with a whole nother set of brushes, but I am going to leave their link down to their website because they have a really cool program called the Concept Store. Some of the brushes that I showed you today, like the number 1, the number 2, and the number 4 brush, along with a beautiful fan brush, and you're able to get each brush, I believe, for about $24 or so. Oh no, some are 24, some are 15, some are 28, 39. Okay, the number 4 is actually 39. You order a brush from the store, you try the brush at home, you fill out their feedback, and you get a full store coupon for every dollar that you spend, which I think is actually pretty fucking cool. So if you have been wanting to get into natural hair brushes, I think this is a really nice way to go, and you can get one brush at a reasonable price and see if this is something for you. So I'm very honored and thankful that Rephr actually sent me these brushes. They're fantastic. I love them, and I really am excited to see what they're going to be coming out with. I'll happily purchase a set of whatever, because I think I'm starting to realize that I kind of want to play around more with these brushes as opposed to synthetic. I know. I created a really expensive habit for myself. I need to get the goddamn Sonia G brushes. Those I've been lusting over. One day, maybe Christmas. Alex. These are awesome. Also, I really do love their case that the brushes come in. It's definitely giving me Fifth Element vibes. And I kind of want to put it on a podium and then blow on it, and then so the sides just open up. I'm a moron. Thanks, Rephr. I love you. Hi, Editing Theresa here. Don't mind whatever garbage shit this is. I realized when editing this video, I feel like I didn't really convey much of a review for these products. Like I said like, okay, this is kind of like why I like them, but like I didn't really kind of go into too much depth. And that was a fuck up on my part, so I do apologize for that. So long story short, what I really like about these brushes, other than the fact that they pick up color very well and they pick up other products very well, I like how my makeup looked overall. When I compare it to, say, a synthetic brush, I don't know, I just feel like the product just seamlessly adhered to my face more so. I didn't feel like I had to do a lot of extra blending. Everything kind of just sat and melted so perfectly into the skin. And it wasn't with new products. I've actually been using these particular brushes with all kinds of products, and I felt like I was getting the same kind of application every time, which is fucking fantastic. So that's 1. 2, I really like how sleek they look. They're very lightweight, yet kind of like the matte effect to them makes it feel very luxurious. I also noted that in my review, I mentioned that I own 2 natural hair brushes. That's not true, because I also own the Jeffree Star Morphe brushes, which some have natural hair. And then I do own some Smith Cosmetics natural eye brushes, which is like not that great. And I find it funny because between those 2 products, between the Morphe and the Smith Cosmetics, my brushes are very frayed and gross looking. And I have to say, what I like about those particular eye brushes from Rephr, they're still very much the same shape. They still have the same softness. I noticed with the Smith Cosmetics, along with the Jeffree Star Cosmetics brushes, even after like a handful of uses, it started becoming really frayed and just spooky looking. The other thing that's great about them is that they're incredibly easy to clean. Using a tea towel to brush off any excess shadows have been fantastic. Unfortunately, the brushes are a little bit stained, but it's not holding any other product. Say like a synthetic brush, for some weird reason, as many times as I try to clean it, it still has some sort of remnants in it. I don't get it. In any case, I am such a huge fan of these brushes, and I can understand why people pay the amount of money that they do. It's an investment, but it's something that if you do treat them with proper care, that you're gonna have for a very long fucking time. Granted, I used to feel that way about synthetic brushes until, I don't know, lately, like some of the Luxie brushes that I love, the handle is slowly being removed from the top of the brush, that I'm actually like having to fucking MacGyver it and like tape it up. So bad. So I don't know, I just feel like the craftsmanship of natural hair brushes just look so much more nicer. That's what I feel like I failed to mention in this video, but I really don't have a bad thing to say about these brushes. I just wish I had more. So the next product I want to talk about is the Hourglass Ghost Palette, which I'm going to keep it low down because otherwise it's going to blind you. But basically this is a part of their holiday collection. Hourglass came out with a face palette, a blush book, some lipstick, some eye bullshit. Nobody cares. Here's the deal. Let me give you my history of Hourglass. Last year, their face palette came out and I lost my mind and I waited. I waited way too long, and then when it was gone and I was completely upset. I literally went to so many different Sephoras to try and find it. And at the time they came out with 2 different collections. They came out with like this gold palette and they came out with the pink palette. I didn't want the fucking pink palette. I wanted the gold palette, and then it was gone and I was upset, and I was just always promised myself that if Hourglass ever did this again, I would jump on the chance to get one of their goddamn face palettes. Now I heard that there was a rumor that they were going to re-release the palette from last year. I don't know if that's true. It was rumblings in the community. I don't know. But in any case, when I saw the palette, even though I wasn't super fucking jazzed with the packaging, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get it. Now this guy retails for $80. I don't know about you, girl. That's not great. But also Hourglass is just really fucking expensive, so essentially what you're getting is 6 minis. If you were to get each mini individually, granted not all of these shades are available as a mini size, but each mini retails for about $24. So basically this palette is technically worth $144 and you're getting it for a steal at $80. Now the Ghost collection basically comes in this weird Glad style type container with a very pretty bougie ass mirrored top. I hate the mirrored top because as you can see, it basically looks like a fucking tester palette already, and I hate that. The sides make me laugh because it reminds me of things that I put my lunch in. So automatically I get hungry when I look at it. What you get in this little guy is, again, I'm gonna try to keep it down because I don't wanna blind you. The first one is a finishing powder in dim light. The second one is another finishing powder, and that is diffused light. Third one is a strobe powder in iridescent strobe light. Over here is a bronzer, eternal bronze light. You have a strobe blush, iridescent rose. Last but not least, you have a blush in sublime flush. So if you have the standard Hourglass ambient lighting palette, which is like the big guy, you know, for $62, $64, I'm sorry. You do get a repeat shade in here, and that would be dim light, which is this guy right here. So I also have a mini version of this one, which is diffused light. Technically, I already had 2 of these in my possession, but I don't really give a shit. I really like Hourglass powders. I think they're fantastic. The translucent veil setting powder is one of my all-time favorite setting powders, loose setting powders, and I really do love the ambient lighting trio. So this shade right here, which is diffuse light, that is the shade that I use to set my under eyes. For the most part, it keeps the creases at bay. I'm starting to think that's just like my natural fucking look, which is really depressing because I just turned 34. In any case, I love that shade. The shade Strobe Light over here is actually very, very beautiful. A really, really soft highlighter. And I actually don't even really use this as a highlighter. What I do is I like to take my brush and dip it in all 3 shades. And after I'm done using this bronzer shade, I like to kind of sweep that area with those 3 shades because I'm not a huge fan of Hourglass bronzers. I don't know why. I'm just like not the biggest fan of it. And granted, while this is also very, very light, it's a little bit on the warm side. So I feel like those 3 powders actually just kind of neutralize it a little bit for me, which is fine. As for the blushes, I think on this side I'm using this color, and I believe on this side it's this color. I actually don't even fucking remember. My highlighter is so goddamn popping right now. That's all I see. In any case, I love Hourglass blushes, and those are no different. I am just a huge fan, and I'm kind of regretting not getting that little blush book now. I might get the blush book. Fuck. I will say though, is that while I really, really do enjoy this product, I really am not a fan of the packaging. I think it really sucks because it just looks so fucking dirty looking. I hate it. And I don't necessarily know if this is good for someone that has a deeper skin tone. And I say that because I feel like with some of the shades, especially with like the bronzer shade, I found that, you know, I kind of had to like pack it on a little bit in order for anything to really show up. Don't really know if you have a deeper skin tone than say uncooked chicken, if that is really going to work for you. However, I did mention this on my live stream the other night. There was someone in the chat that said like, I'm in a medium range and this works fine. So I guess it really kind of just depends. I was already in the assumption that this only really works for fair skin, but there are some folks with medium skin that this does work for. I wish that the palette in my eyes was more universal, or at the very least they could have released 2 different palettes, say light, medium, medium dark, something. Just something a little bit for everybody, because it's kind of really shitty that only, in my personal opinion, I feel like only a certain amount of people can use this, but not all. That sucks. So I kind of find it annoying that Hourglass is not taking that approach. Price tag's a little bit steep, but I definitely think that the way that I utilize this thing, it's well worth the money. So with that said, I really did enjoy this product, and I'm probably gonna get that goddamn blush book. Great. The next product we're going to be talking about is the new Lime Crime Venus Immortalis palette. This palette retails for about $38. You get this adorable goth aesthetic shade set here. And here's the deal, I was super excited when this came out because as someone who has a small goth child living inside me, my makeup dick is so fucking hard. Here's the thing though, I don't like it. Okay, I take that back. Half the palette is great, the other half is trash. It's actually maybe even less than that, fuck. And I'm gonna show you right here. Some of these shades actually hit hard pan, which is very strange. The two shimmer shades are fantastic. I don't have any issues with them. Super beautiful. But like the black shade, for example, you're like, oh, great, right? It's gonna be so fucking pigmented. And it's really not. It's very, very, very weak. It actually kind of comes out almost gray. The gray shade Ash, which definitely hit hard pan. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, come on, bro. The shade Moth. That actually doesn't look that bad. No, it sucks. I mean, I could keep going on, but like, I just don't fucking want to. I think the looks that I created with this palette were cute, but it was just a pain in the ass. It took way too long to create my looks. And kind of with that said, this is something that I'm not really going to reach for because I only feel like I can probably make one or two looks with this. And I'm really just looking more at the metallic shades here. It's a true bummer because I really wanted this to work and it just didn't. I don't know, the shades are so fucking weak. And I find that to be so crazy because I have quite a few Lime Crime palettes and I never experienced this sort of issue with it. So I really don't know what the fuck happened. But this guy retails for about $38. I personally don't think it's worth it to get, especially when only a couple of shades, in my opinion, work. But like, yeah, look, it's all hard pan though. Like, what the fuck? It's such a fucking bummer to me because I feel like this is like a really good Halloween palette. And yeah, if I can't get any sort of pigmentation, what the fuck is the purpose of it? Oh my God. All right, this is a waste of my fucking time. I don't recommend getting this palette, even though there is really, who's calling me? Oh, unknown missed call. Well, that's terrifying. Okay. Keisha? In any case, I don't recommend getting this palette. I don't think it's worth it at all. The only shades worth it in this palette are the two metallic shades. In that case, Kaleidos makes an amazing fucking silver and actually a couple of palettes. Go get Kaleidos. That's so much fucking prettier. The Sephora Bear palette, that's a great fucking silver. I could probably come up with a list of silvers to get that are way better than this bullshit. So no, this is a complete fail for me, and I'll definitely declutter it in my next cluttering video for fucking sure, which is a shame because I really had high hopes for this one because this color story is absolutely adorable. It's very hard to find a cool tone color story like this. It's inspiring me to make my own fucking palette because this is true fucking garbage. So yeah, don't recommend it. Next. Last but not least, let's talk about the ABH Norvina Collection Volume 3 palette. As you guys know, ABH came out with 3 Norvina palettes. Now, here's the deal. When the first one came out, I wasn't really interested in getting it because I'm not really big into purples, and the only colors I actually really did like are the colors that everybody hated. So be it. So then the Volume 2 was announced, and I was tempted, but then I was like, how much fucking blue do I really need? I'm all set. So then I heard rumblings that Volume 3 was going to be coming out, and I did see pictures of it before it was released. The thing is, I think it was supposed to technically be released sometime in November, and then it wasn't. And I think that's what's really shitty about ABH, and if I were Carly Bible or Jackie Aina or Alyssa Edwards, I would be really fucking mad right now. I really feel like their palettes didn't really have a moment to shine because I think everything was more focused on these guys. I'm gonna have to have like a little less sauteing in there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Cause you're cooking my dinner. Can you be a little softer, please?
Oh, you don't want your sausage cooked?
No, I don't want to get trichinosis and die. That's what you get, right?
Sure.
I think pork is trichinosis. Hey Siri, do you get trichinosis from not eating cooked pork? Thanks Siri, you're the best.
Nothing?
Shut up. Yeah, from uncooked pork, bitch. I was right. Thanks, Siri, for believing in me. By the way, can you stop pounding things?
I'm cooking sausage.
What?
Sausage.
Nobody says it.
You kind of do.
No, you don't. All right.
Hold on, give me like 31 seconds.
Go ahead, pound it out. Out of all the Norvina palettes, this is the one that piqued my interest the most because this color story is me. This is straight up the most fallest of color stories I've ever fucking seen. I love it. Now with that said, I was a little apprehensive about picking it up. I didn't know if the quality was going to be consistent with other ABH palettes, being that this is like the pro palette and blah, whatever. Figured, you know what? I'm just gonna fucking pull the trigger, and if it's gonna work, it's gonna work. If not, it's not. And I'm so glad that I did. It's so fucking good. It's disgusting how good it is. So it retails for $60, and to me, it's well worth the price. Granted, most ABH shadows, I believe you get about 14 shadows, if I'm not mistaken, for about $45. So literally, you're getting 25 for $60, and you're getting this beautiful giant size mirror. Like, it's fucking great. I love the packaging on this guy. It's almost kind of like ColourPop's monochromatic bigger brother. I really do love the color story in this. I think it's a really nice, like, healthy representation of like oranges and greens and just purples. Oh my god, fucking love it. All right, I think if you're interested in picking up any of these palettes, I don't necessarily know if you need to have all three. If you're a psycho or you're 90s love child, then yes, you need all three, which hi. I'm going to link her video down below because I liked watching her video where she actually swatches volume 2 and 3 and she gives you her thoughts as well. I don't necessarily know if you really need all three. I think if you have a color story that you have more of a preference to, I think that's the one that you kind of should get. I don't necessarily know if you really need to have everything. The mattes in this palette are fucking fantastic. They build up really nicely. They blend out. They have a beautiful opacity. There is a little bit of kick up. There is a little bit of fallout, but nothing too crazy. I just love how they blend into each other. And for today's looks, I just wanted to play with as many colors as possible to really show you guys that they blend very well into each other. And I think that's what's so fucking fantastic about it, is that when I look at this palette, I get excited about makeup and I just want to play. I could make a normal look with this, but I choose not to. I want to look like a fucking crazy person. And that's what I love about this palette. It gets me excited to play with color. So I think if you're somebody that really loves color, you're not going to be disappointed. But in the same breath, I definitely feel like if you are someone that is not really familiar with a lot of color and you kind of want to like dip your toe in a little bit, I think there are enough neutral eyeshadows in here that you do have the occasional like pop of yellow or pop of green or pop of orange that you are able to achieve a bunch of different looks with this palette. My only complaint with this palette is that I would say the shimmer shades are not my favorite. And I found that when I would use them with the brush and setting spray, they're okay. With the exception of say like, you know, these kind of like goldish shades, those were amazing, especially when I used them with like a little pencil brush for the inner corner, fantastic. But say like this green shade or even this purple shade, when I did use it with a brush and some setting spray, it was okay. I don't know, there's something different about this formula than say some of the other ABH shimmer formulas. But the amount of fallout though for the shimmer shades is fucking astronomical. And I think it's because these shimmer shades are technically pressed pigments that it looks like glitter is technically just sitting on top of the shadow. I don't know. It's not my favorite. Anytime I use a shimmer shade, it would be an explosion of fucking sparkles all over my face like Tinkerbell shit on me. And it was really fucking annoying. But that aside, it's not terrible. I really just want to focus more on the matte shades here because some of these fucking neons, oh my god, they're so goddamn good. These are limited edition items, so if you are interested in picking them up, do so before they're gone. I would recommend that. I think Ulta right now is doing that 20% off coupon every now and again because I know I just had one, so hopefully other people will have one too. I think Ulta only has volumes 1 and 2 available, and I believe Sephora has volumes 1, 2, and 3 available. So if you can wait for the Sephora VIB sale, I would totally recommend doing so in order to pick one of these guys up because paying for it 20% off is kind of pretty much buying a normal ABH eyeshadow palette. Kind of think of it in that way. I'm glad that I got this one because I technically feel like even though as much as I really want number 2, I don't really need it because I don't feel like I'm going to be utilizing it every day. This, however, I definitely feel like I will be utilizing it more because I'm more attracted to, as of late, oranges and greens and yellows and all kinds of shit. So with that said, I'm very, very happy with this palette. So now I want to hear from you guys. Let me know down below if you're interested in getting any of these palettes, if you have some of them, what are your thoughts? Do you like them? Do you hate them? Do you not give a shit? Whatever. Let me know because I love hearing from you. And I want to say thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it as always. Feel free to like, comment, hit that subscribe button. It's fucking free. And hit that bell icon for notification of all my future posts. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Discord. On Thursdays, we have a podcast called The Miserable 3, which will be back next week. And sometimes I'm on my husband's Twitch channel where I just yell about things on the internet and make poor choices. So if you want to check out any of that stuff along with what is on my face and what I am currently wearing along with my merch, everything will be linked down in the description box below. And with that said, I'll see you little pumpkins later. Bye.